Hey everybody, back with another pole position repair video. Jack Lick's pole position repair YouTube channel, I guess. I don't know, that's all I seem to be doing lately. This is a pole position 1 board, and I just wanted a quick overview. Looks like there's a battery on here, and it was wired up kind of off board, I guess, but it wasn't set to the charge anyway, and it doesn't look bad. Let me turn some light on, maybe. But definitely does not look bad as far as acid damage, so that's the good news. I have a feeling this thing will work. A little bit of edge repair needs to happen there on the ground for the audio. I don't see any chips that were replaced. Interesting. There's the foam. I'm just looking it over. Yeah, I don't see anything that was replaced on this thing. This is the video board. Looks like a lot of the tin is gone from the copper, and we have a little bit on the 5-volt line. Damaged card edge right there, little finger. This ROM here, windows exposed. I don't know, could be bad. Who knows? Dirty, but also no chips have been replaced that I can tell. No, 2 RAM chips right here, 2148s maybe. 2149, but 2148, I think, same thing. Yeah, I can see that right there. Look at the card edge. Alright, that's not going to prevent us from powering it up. Let's say, will it work or won't it? Let me get it hooked up. Here we go. I think I have everything good. Oh, you know what? This is a matching set Rev.E board, and this is important. Is it? Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, Rev.E, and the upright serial number is 18,000, so this is pretty far in the of pole position. And when I did a pole position 2 board that was Rev.E, it actually had a low serial number, which means like the Rev.Es is kind of when pole position 2, they started doing factory conversions, I think. I don't know, that's my theory. But 18,717, this is a pole position 1. Both the Rev.Es serial numbers match. Alright, here we go. FFF. And we got graphics glitches, but that's okay. So everything booted fine. That means this board is working correctly. All the customs are working. The RAM is good. If I put test mode, ROM okay, at least for everything the Z80 can address. So these graphic ROMs could be the problem, or that we could have some other RAM issues here, but I'm not sure. But the first things first, I gotta clean these boards, gotta cut off that battery, just clean up that little area there. Let's see if there's anything else I need to do. I'm just gonna clean first and then come back, and we'll see if our sprites come back. We got definitely some serious sprite issues. Alright, the board's all clean. I just see if I can show you this here. There's one pin that you can see is kind of discolored there on that socket. Pin number, I don't know, it's like 22 or 20 or something like that, if you can see it. I don't know if that's going to come out on video. And then the other thing is right there, you can see one of the legs stayed in the socket on one of those customs, and I think that was 9E. Yeah, it's missing a pin, a leg. So these are pretty corroded. Gonna put it in Tarnex and wire Dremel the rest of them. Alright, board's all clean, chips are clean. Did have a few chip legs that kind of broke off, so that 9E is definitely the pretty bad off. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs that I need to repair. And then the Z80 actually was pretty bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's rare that a Z80 has silver legs like that, but this is, let's see, Moztec. So I went ahead and I have Z80s up the wazoo, so I just put another Z80 in there, and I will have to fix this 9E, which really sucks because the socket is one of those Atari sockets, and I can't put like metal pins and stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do there. Alright, I have a new Z80 in there, and this 9E has seen better days. Pin 1 and 2 are good. I had to put it in a machine socket. Actually, what I did is I put two 24-pin ROM sockets together and then cut off the end. So it's like a 42-pin socket, machine socket. Damn, I should have filmed that. But anyway, I also had to, like, there was nothing left of pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I actually had to go all the way in to the casing with a Dremel to try to get some metal exposed where it would actually, hold on to this capacitor leg. So I think everything's good, and there's 2 pins on the other side. Good news is pin 5 does not seem to be listed on the schematic, so it might not even be used. Let's power it on. Actually, let me check all my chips. Dun. Yeah, this 9E has to do with this 9C speech and ROM. So this has to do with speech, I think, and sound. So cool. Go into test mode, see if we have speech. Oh, that sound 20 didn't sound right, did it? I'm holding this thing. Huh. Maybe it's not good to go. Still got graphics issues, but could have some slight sound speech issues. I don't know. Interesting. I'll have to put in a working 9E real quick and figure that out. Alright, I put a spare in to 9E, and we'll just listen to the...
Prepare to qualify.
See, 19 says prepare to qualify.
Press Y when you qualify for road.
And then 20 is great driving, you qualify to race. So I think something is wrong with this right here, this chip, and it's hard to tell if it's the pin contacts or what. Unfortunately, my other 9Es are in bad shape too. Like, there's broken pins on that 9E. This one I just pulled out of a spare board. It's all jacked up. So I have a feeling 9E is typically silver legged, and then that's why it gets all brittle. That sucks. Alright, so I went through, and I might link to Adam's video, but I soldered, I usually don't do this, but he soldered every single leg to the machine pin underneath of it, if you can see that right there. So beyond the ones that I fixed, I went ahead and soldered all the legs on both sides, and it seems that we fixed it, I think.
Prepare to qualify.
Prepare to qualify?
Great driving, you qualify for race.
Great driving, you qualify to race. That was it. So yeah, I think...
Prepare to qualify. Great driving, you qualify for race.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's working. So, fragile. But now let's take this off a test. Let's see what we get. And we still have our graphics issues. And I haven't messed with the video board yet. So you can see sprite issues all over the place. Cars, everything. So, going to do the same thing. Take out all the chips. Clean them. And then we'll have to troubleshoot this stuff. I'll probably verify the ROMs. Actually, let me see if I press on these, if it makes any difference. Nope. Sorry about that. Doesn't look like any. Oh. Yeah, we got some issues going on with this video board. So we will check that and clean the board and come right back. Alright, I got all the chips removed from the video board. I was inspecting the sockets, and most everything looks okay, but these look really bad. I mean, I'm sure they'll clean up fine, but 6L and 5L, which are two customs, look pretty bad. There's a few sockets, like this one right here. There's a, if you can see that, there's like looks like there's something in the socket. But the first thing I'm going to do is clean it up like I usually do, and then come back and look at every single socket just to make sure that it looks normal and there's nothing like weird going on. And then Dremel the chips stuff. None of these look actually bad like we had on the graphics board. Most of these are tin plated, not like silver or gold. So they actually, I think the tin stuff holds up better. But I'm going to clean them up. Come right back. Alright, I got the video board all cleaned up. Every chip, deoxid, wire wheel, Dremel, whatever. All the good stuff. Let's power it on. I think I'm just like kind of looking, make sure I have it right. Let's see if it's any better. Cross your fingers. Oh no, hold on. What do I gotta do? Hook up my power right here. This is just like extra power on this board here. Alright, and I got ground, 5 volts over here. Yeah, definitely want to make sure that's right. It's booting. Alright, I have my test mode in. See if we have our sprites. Alright, so we still have sprite issues. So I don't think that changed actually anything, but at least I know I'm starting kind of with something you know, that chips are good. Oh, the other thing is I did test every single chip EEPROM in a burner and verified it against MAME and stuff. So I don't think it's any of those either. So we have some sprite issues. Big time. Let me look at the schematic and come back with a plan of attack here. Alright, so we have the vertical lines representing the sprites there. We'll go through a bit, make sure I get the symptom on here. You can almost see it in some lines right there. It's kind of weird. There we go. Vertical lines representing all the sprites pretty much. Like you can see the cars. It's like horizontally collapsed, I guess. But the first thing I did is went on Clove and read through the Great Master Pole Position Repair List, which I'll link to right here somewhere. And who was it? I think it was Mike Hartman on Clove. Said that 9K, he had a picture of this exact symptom and mentioned that 9K with the size enable. I did a previous video where size enable was causing something else wrong, but he said this area was the problem. Now, I thought it might be in a different area of the board, but I figured, you know, I would go with what he said first. Turn this down a little bit. And that brought me to a new tool that I have. So I got this BugTrap 2074X replica from a member on Clove, Advans, also known as Brandon on the Coin Rejects podcast. He had put these together. He's been working on this for quite some time. And this is a logic comparator very similar to my HP, which I'll link to up here where I've done some videos on logic comparators. But the reason I wanted to get this one is because it's a lot simpler to use. I don't know if it's better, but it's a lot easier to use. The first thing you need to do is, or the first difference between this and an HP logic comparator is it has external power hookups. So you have to hook up the power, positive and negative, to like a capacitor or 5 volts basically somewhere. The second thing is it is 20 pins versus 18 pins of an HP 104. Actually, I guess I'll show my HP. This is my HP 10529A logic comparator. Has a built-in logic clip, but it's only 16 pins. So it can only test 16 pin ICs. And when you put the chip in here, you have to know which inputs and outputs. So you have to look up every chip every time of what the input and outputs are. On the BugTrap, the only thing you need to switch on and on is basically 5 volts and ground. So this is a 16 pin IC. I flip 8 in, 20 in, put my reference IC in, and I'm good to go. I don't need to worry about looking up, you know, what's an input and what's an output and manipulating it. And this one will also do 20 pin ICs, and maybe even tri-state stuff, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, let me pause. So I put my 20 pin IC connector. It does come with a 16 pin IC connector as well, or test clip. And but I can use the 20 because there's enough space there. And then you just flip this pin 20 in because you count down, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 16 pin IC. This is ground. Go directly over, up top. So you leave off the bottom 4 pins for a 16 pin. For an 18 pin, you would use pin 9 and you know, pin 20, and then you would use pin 10 for a 20 pin IC and pin 20. Usually, as long as that's ground and that's 5 volts. So you get the idea. You're just flipping in ground and 5 volts. And you can see that there's no air lights. So this seems to be working okay from a comparator standpoint. Whoop, I just took it off and then boom, got some lights. So just hit reset. There we go. Alright, so there we are with that. Now, that brought me to... I'll take off my ground clip here, or will I guess. Let me hook up my ground clip of my oscilloscope probe. So 9K. Now that's only testing, comparing the inputs and outputs. and I think 9K. I wanted to check the input, so pin 1 and pin 4, for example, and I came to 9K pin 1, and you can see there is nothing going on there on the inputs. So, and this is pin 4, nothing going on there. Pin 2 is an input, nothing. Pin 3, nothing. So, you know, a comparator can only compare the outputs of the chip to the inputs, like for the reference IC. So if the inputs are bad, obviously the comparator isn't going to find anything. So I'll come back to 9L and let me check. Gotta hook this up again, sorry. Popped off. Let me check 9L pin 3, 4, and 6 of 9L. 9L pin 3. Alright, pin 3, we got activity there. Output is pin 2. Boom, dead. Inputs pin 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got activity. Output is pin 5. Boom, dead. We got our culprit 9L. I'm going to go ahead and get a 74 LS174. We'll put it in the comparator, see if it agrees with that. Alright, I have the logic comparator set up. It's on the clip. Red is on pin 1. Red's pin 1. Doesn't read any outputs are bad. Now this is a 74 LS174. It's a flip-flop, I'm pretty sure. And there is a clear on pin 1. So that you can synchronize. It says it in the BugTrap, like if you have a chip that has a clear pin, you might have to clear it to actually get it to work right. But a reset of the CPU should do that. And I guess I could try clearing it here real quick. Yeah, there's two ways to clear it. One is you take the clear pin and you tie it through to the reference IC, and then you probe the reference IC. That's one way. I think, can I try that real quick? Let me see if I can try that. Alright, I'm just experimenting, first time using this thing. So the right way to do it is to not tie that pin and then probe pin 1 there on this thing, which I could do like that. But no change. Or flip this, probe pin 1, no change. So I think something's wrong here. I don't know. Obviously the lights work. So what I did is brought out my HP 10529. The difference with the HP is you need to disengage the outputs from the reference IC. So you put the chip in, basically facing you. Pin 1 is down here, bottom right. I always forget that. And this is you can make reference cards or you can use it this way. And then I have all the outputs facing away from the IC, so like disengaged from the reference IC. Pin 2, 5, 7, 10, 12, and 15. Then you come over here, 9L. If I had my glasses on, this would be easier. And if that, yeah, it's on there. And this one is telling me there's a bunch of stuff wrong. Pin 10, 12, 7, 15. Also getting bad readings on 3, 4 on the inputs, but that could be because of that damn resistor. But that looks bad. So I don't know what's going on with this BugTrap. I might have to do some more research or reach out to Brandon to see what's going on. But I am going to replace this 9L because both my oscilloscope said it was bad and my HP is giving me clues that's bad. Unfortunately, the BugTrap, which I'm looking forward to using, but might need to do some research and troubleshooting on it first, did not report it as bad. Alright, I replaced 9L, but we got the same issue. Oh boy. This is what I should have done some more troubleshooting with my oscilloscope, honestly. Let's go to pin 2. Alright, pin 3, input. Pin 2, nothing. 4, input. Pin 5, nothing. So that LS174 did not need to be replaced. So what else could we look at? One of the things is, I guess I could have checked to see, so the clear pin is always pulled up high. You can see that here. It's pulled up high via the resistor, pin 1. Let's see. Yep, it's high. Alright, so that's the LS174, but we know nothing's happening going outbound. So the other thing, we know we have stuff coming inbound on pin 3, but nothing going to pin 2. Pin 4, nothing going to pin 5. But let's check pin 9, our clock. Pin 9. That does not look good. So I think our issue is this clock, maybe not even our 7497. So the clock comes in here to pin 9 on 8B. Anything on this line could be causing problems, like this LS74 at 10B. One of these pins could be pulling this down or something, or it says size load. So I need to figure out where size load comes from, if you can see that. So I need to start using, where's my little, I don't know, a pointer. So there's a pin 9 off the clock, 8B pin 9. Like, I could cut this and see if that frees it up or something like that. But I'm going to find out where the size load is first. Alright, that size enable comes into, where's it at? Right here. Alright, is generated from 8B, which is a 74S00 from H set, whatever that is, and this is the inversion of 6M. So 6M, I don't know. We'll have to see what that is. 6 megahertz maybe? I don't know. But it's obviously a frequency. That comes in, and then it gets this 00 is like a positive NAND gate, I think. But let's look at pin 4. Definitely have something on pin 4, which is 6M, and the frequency is 6 megahertz. If you can see that right there. And that looks good. Pin 4 and pin 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. That looks good. I mean, good signal levels and everything. And then pin 6 is the output, and that looks bad. Hopefully you guys can see that. If I turn off my light, it'll look better here. So it's not, something's holding that down. Now that could be any chip on that line, on that size enabled line, could be shorted or something. And I do believe it's shorted somewhat. Let me put this on the tripod. See that okay, hopefully? If I come to ground, put my little meter in here, and I come to pin 6. Let me turn off my power here real quick. Pin 6 to ground, about 5 ohms. No, 4.4 ohms there. And if I come to 10B pin 2 to ground, no, what was it? Oh, 10B pin 2, 3.6 ohms, 3.5 versus pin 6. Interesting. I feel like I need to clip pins at this point to see if which one's kind of shorted. I could use the leak seeker to figure that out. I don't know if that's worth it. Or I just clip this pin and see if the short goes away. Pin 10, 10B, pin 2. I have to think about that. Maybe I should have used the leak seeker. I don't know, or went with the lower ohm thing. I clipped pin 6 of 8B. Let's look at what that looks like now. You can see where I clipped it at. And we look much better on our output there. It's about 20 kilohertz. Is that? I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, about 20 kilohertz, varying. So now let me clip 10B pin 2, I guess, because one of these chips is jacked up. Well, of course, it's never the first one. I clipped, what chip did I clip here? 7C pin 1. That didn't clear it. Then I clipped 10B pin 2. And I have a short, even with it clipped right there. I doubt you could see that, but whatever. 10B pin 2. So, the line is no longer continuity to ground, but the actual pin 2 is. So I think this is our problem. 74 LS74, and I need to fix my other 2 pins. I'll be right back. Alright, now I need to do more videos with this, but I did put everything back the way it was, including 10B. I soldered in chip 2, so it was grounded. And then I put in my reference chip, a 74S00, flipped pin 7 as ground, 20, as 5 volts. So flip those in. And it does read pin 6 as being bad. We got a false reading with the HP on, 9L, but this was actually reading it correctly because the clock, right, wasn't working, so therefore the outputs were fine, I guess. I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit more, but it seemed like the BugTrap is reading correctly. It knew that chip was good based off of the inputs, I guess. Because the clock wasn't activating. Strange, huh? I don't know. I have to think about that some. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to replace 10B, the 74 LS74. Cool. Alright, that's replaced. 7474 at 10B. Whoops. Helps if I hook up my power. There we go. See what we get. Bam! Working. See if there's any other graphics glitches. I do not see anything. Everything looks pretty good. I don't want to jump to conclusions here. I need to fix this card edge here on the power rail. It's a little messed up there, and probably re-tin that and stuff, but otherwise screwed up troubleshooting this. The I should have looked at the clock and enable circuits before making any conclusions on that. And then maybe I could have done a better job of finding the short versus I cut a pin here at, what is that, 8B, I cut a pin at 7C, and then finally I cut a pin at 10B. It would be nice if I would have broke out the leak seeker, which is right here, and maybe check to see if that would have gave me a clue of which chip. I'll have to do that next time. I just didn't feel like taking the time to do it. I was like clip happy. But anyway, I think Mike Hartman gave me a clue of where to look. It just wasn't the same error that he had. It ended up being that size load, which is going through multiple things, and one of these pins was shorted. So that size load pin was bad. Otherwise, it looks like it's fixed, this video board. Alright, I got it in the cabinet. Let's see if the I'm at an angle here. Again, this monitor is a little dark. I just don't have the brightness turned up right, and the camera's in the way of my steering. This is going to be a good lap time, I think. 56:47. I might need to move this a little bit. But I think it looks like everything's working. Steering's working. Sounds are working. Oh, look at that. That was a beautiful turn. I haven't figured out that first turn on this, but obviously a little bit better at pole position 1 than 2. I'm screwing up. Barely got the extended lap. Yeah, not my best game. But another pole position board fixed, which I can't complain about. Obviously no high score save on that thing. Battery damage, put an NVRAM in there. Or a battery backed SRAM in there and it'll work fine. Alright, that's it guys.